Hey there, you guys. So I wanted to bring you in and show you what I'm working on this late morning. I'm about to shellac some of my newer paintings to protect them. Here are some more. And I'm super excited because hey Wade, I'm excited because all of these ideas are sort of coalescing in my mind, and I hope that I can express them in a clear way because I'm so. Okay, so first off, I feel like I've discovered what my artwork is about, and I can't take credit for this idea, um, but I will explore it more deeply with you. So, spiritual realism. Um, our life is composed. Hey, Millie, our life is made of the spiritual, mystical aspects that we don't necessarily see with our eyes, and that could be the more abstract aspects of my paintings, and then the things, the material things that, of course, we do see with our eyes. And I'm excited because this idea is kind of everything that I'm about and that I would like to explore in this video today. So, spiritual people, I know definitely my Baha'i friends, are fond of using the phrase that we are walking the spiritual path in this life with practical feet. And you could also say, like, we're spiritual beings having a material experience. And sometimes, at least for me, it feels like a Sunday morning thought. Like, oh, yes, that's lovely. But when the week starts and we have to go to work and get gas and sit in traffic and go to the grocery store, it's easy to lose touch with that reality of, like, oh, yeah, I'm a spiritual being having material experience. And I'm breathing heavily because I'm just there's so many synapses firing right now. And it's actually a really, really helpful symbol and a really helpful tool of walking the spiritual path with practical feet, because nowhere in there does it address like that some days we're going to have blisters on our feet, and some days we're going to be like, how long is this path? And some days it's going to be muddy and we're going to slip. And some days we're going to be wondering like where all the people are. And then some days we're going to be bumping into people. And some days like other people's like voices are going to grate on our nerves. And yet all along the reality of it remains the same, that we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, that we are walking the spiritual path with practical feet. And this coalescence of the psychological, the spiritual, the practical, the balance is very exciting to me and worth continued exploration. And personally, I'd like to share. So on Sunday, we talked a bit about Deus ex maxima. Hi, Joy. That idea, in the way that I used it, was like how the God force can intervene. And it's, used in the climax of a drama, but that what if you, like, call on this force, like, please intervene, please help me with this even when everything is okay and not in crisis. Like, how can that elevate our lives? And so I made that intention on Sunday to focus more on that this week, and it's been really helpful to have set an intention and to be kind of accountable to you and to be thinking about that. An example of bringing together the practical and spiritual. I was meditating a few days ago on a very practical issue in my life that is weighing on my heart. Not dramatically, but it's something that can cause me some stress or anxiety or what have you. I'm sure you know nothing about that. I'm teasing. We all have those things all the time. And in my meditation. This was only a few minutes. I was kind of asking for a practical solution. I was like, just tell me practically what to do. And instead, what came to me was a fragment of a quote from Abdul Baha, who's a figure in the Baha'i faith, this sort of like loving grandfather figure who is a perfect example of how a human can live our lives. And he's in the quote that came to me, it was all about faith. And that he says, like, make a promise to me that you will have faith and that you will be steadfast, that nothing can disturb this faith. And then he says, as ye have faith, so shall your powers and blessings be. And then 3 times he says, this is the balance, this is the balance, this is the balance. And this is what came to me when I was praying on something very practical. So I was like, okay, I heard that. I get it. Okay, so right now the answer to my practical quandary is like, have faith, have faith, have faith. And last night I noticed that I was a little irritable, and I recognized like, oh, I'm afraid. Something's bothering me, and that's why I'm acting out in this way. When I'm afraid, when I feel disconnected from holy hope or God or the optimizing thrust of the universe, and I start to feel like everything is up to my doing and responsibility, I get afraid and I get irritable and stuff. And I recognize, okay, this is what's going on. I've edged myself out from God, right? Ego, edging God out. And I remembered the quote and the content of my fear, this practical aspect of my life. And I remember, okay, I just have to have faith. And I started to still get kind of emo about it, like still kind of maybe feeling sorry for myself. Like, yes, I have this thing that I want to pray about. And then I thought, but wait a second. This is a pattern in me. Like, I know this feeling very well. And maybe today I'm worried about this issue. But last year, for example, I had the same feeling, but I was worried about something else contextually. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, whether you're afraid of something like money, and then that problem is solved, but then you're worried about relationships, or then you're worried about a legitimate health concern, or that's resolved, but you're worried about body image, or that's resolved, but you're thinking about, whatever. So I realized, like, wait a second. All of these things are just stories, and no matter what is healed in my life, if I don't heal this tendency to edge God out in my unique way, which is like to get fearful and think that nothing is supporting me, it won't matter what happens externally. This feeling will continue to return because it doesn't matter. It's like the feeling is dominant rather than the content. And I felt like I saw that really clearly, and it really helped release me. Like, oh, this is just this like weird human funky mental pattern. So that was my ramble for today. I think that covers it. But this idea of balance of faith, and like the quote I said, as ye have faith, the spiritual construct, so shall your powers and blessings be, which may be spiritual or they may be practical. Powers and blessings, and this blend of the mystical, spiritual reality and the practical. So please feel free to share your thoughts. I know I went all over the place a little bit, but let's talk about, like, what do you think about balance? How do you edge God out? What do you think about this concept of walking the spiritual path with practical feet, and how do you maintain that when your coworkers are irritating you, or your family is irritating you, or the bills to pay, or you have to go to the doctor and you're scared. So that's the Wednesday thought. I hope you have a great day, and yeah, feel free to comment. Tell me what you think. Bye bye.